Hello folks, I wasn't really going to make a video tonight, but in some discussion and some research something came up and I just felt compelled, so I wanted to go ahead and get this out to you. We're going to talk about the 14th Amendment to the United States of America, and specifically we're going to talk about Section 1. I've got it right here in my pocket Constitution because I want to make sure to get this right. I'm going to read it exactly to you. This is the very last, not even the whole sentence, a portion of the very last sentence of Section 1 of Amendment 14 to the Constitution of the United States. Nor deny to any person within its jurisdiction, that's a state's jurisdiction, the equal protection of the laws. Okay? So no state can deny to any person within its jurisdiction equal protection under the law. Now, what does that mean? That means that if person A is protected under the law, then person B is also protected under the law. In other words, if you protect Joe, you got to protect me, and you got to protect you, and you got to protect everybody else. That's the founding principle of America. We're all equal. All men are created equal. And so they have to be treated such under American law. That's what it's about, okay? So that's the 14th Amendment. That's called the Protection Clause, the Equal Protection Clause. So now I want to relate this to the little DACA argument we've got going on right now. You know, a lot of people want to give the children of illegal immigrants citizenship. In other words, mom and dad brought them here. And, you know, I feel for them. It's not their fault that mom and dad brought them here. And so through no fault of their own, they're here. And, but they're here because of a crime. A crime was committed. That's why they're here. And so now what we're talking about is we're going to legalize it. Because, you know, they're good kids. They're just children. It wasn't their fault. We care. So, you know, we're going to, let's forget the Constitution here. You know? Well, no, you can't do that. If you're going to ignore the Constitution in one area, you have to ignore all the Constitution. Once you ignore it, none of it makes any sense, right? So under the Equal Protection Clause of the Constitution, if I allow DACA kids to benefit from a crime, okay, their parents brought them here, it was a criminal act to bring them here. We are going to allow them to benefit from that crime by giving them legal status and citizenship. Well, if I let them benefit from a crime under the 14th Amendment, I have to let you benefit from a crime. I have to benefit from a crime. Your neighbor has to benefit from it. Your children have to benefit. Your grandpa has to benefit. Everybody in the United States of by God America has to benefit from a crime if we allow them to. That's the Equal Protection Clause of the United States of America. Now, do we really want to do that? No, of course not. Of course not. Now, you think that it sounds silly for me to say this because, you know, we're not going to do blah, blah, blah. I'm telling you that what this proves is that the legalization of DACA kids is silly and stupid and shouldn't be done. It's unconstitutional. There's no way you can do it. You're going to take somebody who is here by a criminal act and you're going to make them a citizen above and beyond all of the legal people who are sitting in line and waiting to become citizens of the United States of America. Now, do I feel for these kids? Absolutely, I do. I feel for all kids of crime. Bank robbers' kids, I feel sorry for. Murderers' kids, I feel sorry for. Rapist kids, I feel sorry for. You know, when dad goes out and he does one of these things and he gets taken away and goes to prison, you know, sometimes for life, and then the family has to try to survive, and mom, you know, no telling what she has to do just to get by. Or she ends up marrying somebody she shouldn't, you know, just to provide some security for the children. The children always suffer. The children always suffer from our sins. They always do. And I feel for them, each and every one. I swear, I really do. But that doesn't make it right for you to turn around and make that legal in some way. And so what you're trying to do is make something legal that doesn't apply to every other citizen of the United States, and that's unconstitutional. You can't do that. 14th Amendment says you can't do that. Equal protection under the law. If you protect DACA children under the law, you have to protect everybody under the law. At the very least, it's a judicial nightmare. You got all kinds of people who can sue and say, why are you prosecuting me? Let me give you an example. You got somebody who came over here on a student visa or a work visa, and they overstayed the visa, right? And they've been here for 10 years, and they should have left, and they should have renewed their visa, but they didn't. And so they're here illegally, okay? They can now go to the court and say, look, you gave legal status to these DACA kids. They benefited from a crime. I should benefit from a crime too. The reason that you let them benefit from the crime is that they were good, upstanding citizens, hadn't committed any crimes, and you know they're working 2 jobs, going to college. Oh gosh, they're good kids. Well, I'm a good kid too. You know, I'm working too, so I get to benefit from the crime too. That is an absolute legal argument that somebody could make. Now, does that mean SCOTUS would uphold it? Who knows? You know, they're corrupt as anybody else at this point. But from a philosophical standpoint, folks, you cannot ignore the Constitution, and we have to get back to that. The quicker that we get back to constitutional role in the government of the United States, the better off the whole country is going to be. Some people will suffer. There's no 2 ways about it. The majority of people, though, will be lifted from it. So what do we do with it? Well, it's easy. They go back. They go back to their country. They get in the back of the line. There's people sitting in line in their country right now who have done the right thing, who have dotted all the I's, crossed all the T's, made all the legal arrangements they're supposed to make, and they're waiting in line to legally enter the United States of America. You want to put this kid in front of them. Why? Why does this kid get to be put in front of that person who's done the legal thing to get into America? Again, under the 14th Amendment, you're treating one person differently than another. You cannot do that. So I'm sorry, it sucks, and I hate it that your dad and mom was a criminal. You know, crime sucks. Don't do crime. That's my advice. Don't do crime, because it sucks, and it hurts kids. It always does. So that's how you have to deal with it. They have to go back. They have to come in at the end of the line, and they have to do it legally to get into this country. Okay? Now, the next thing I want to talk about. A lot of people on the Republican side are talking about, well, you know, they really want a bunch of Democrat voters here. So what we'll do is we'll give them citizenship, but we won't give them voting rights. Well, guess what? You can't do that. There are no secondary citizens in the United States of America. Again, 14th Amendment, equal protection clause. You're either a citizen or you ain't, right? You're one or the other. You're either a citizen or you are not. If you are a citizen, you get all the rights of every other citizen. You cannot be discriminated against as some secondary citizen. There's no such classification in America. You're either a citizen or you're not. So all these people who want to tell you that, oh, well, we're going to give them citizenship, but we're not going to let them vote. Or we won't let them vote for 10 years. Or no, maybe it was 15. We'll give 15 years. They won't vote. Well, by then they'll love Republicans, so it'll be all right. They can vote then, but they can't now. No, I'm sorry. You can't do that. And the minute you sign that law, the minute the president signs that law, a lawsuit will be filed. I guarantee you, probably in the Ninth Circuit in California, there will be a lawsuit filed that says, hey, I, as a citizen of the United States, cannot be treated different than anybody else, and you will allow me to vote just like everybody else. And they will win. And they should win. That's right. I'm telling you, they should win. You cannot have second-class citizens in America. You're either a citizen or you're not. If you're a citizen, you have the right to vote. So all these politicians telling you that, oh, well, we're going to let them in, but they're not going to be able to vote. They're lying to you. Or they're stupid. Or both. You know, it could be both. You got to admit, when it comes to politicians, stupid and lying could be both. But I just want you to understand that in everything we deal with in politics, what you need to be doing is get your little pocket constitution out and read it. If you don't find it in there, they can't do it. Now, there's a lot of things we're doing that's not, you know, according to the Constitution right now, but that's not an excuse to do more. You know, that is a challenge to take care of those things. You know, let's go out there and take care of those things instead of breaking it again. Oh, we broke it once, let's break it again. No. That's not the way you solve the problems of this country. The way you solve the problems of this country is to get back to the constitutional foundation. And that's what we need to do. And so equal protection is the law of the land. Equal protection. You cannot allow somebody to benefit from a crime unless you let everybody benefit from a crime. Do you want to allow everybody to benefit from a crime? I don't. Sorry.